Making sense of the insane. You're listening to The Charlie Kirk Show.
All right. Private student loan debt in the U.S. totals about $300 billion, and $45 billion of that is labeled as distressed. YRefy refinances distressed or defaulted private student loans that others won't touch. They provide you with a custom loan payment based on your ability to pay, and that is the key. They don't care about your credit. They don't care about any of your financial situations. They want to work with you to get a solution tailored for you so you can meet your monthly budget and pay down your private student loans. So they can save you thousands of dollars by refinancing and even lower your total cost. You can finally take control of your student loan situation with a plan that works for your budget. And because of private student loan debt, so many Americans right now are feeling helpless. They're feeling lost. They've lost all hope. They're walking around with a big burden on their shoulders. You do not have to be that person. If this is you, if you have private student loan debt, please check out the good folks at YRefy.com, YRefy.com, or call them at 888-YRefy34. That's 888-YRefy34. They can help get this off your plate, and you can take charge of your own financial future. This is how you do it. Just call them. May not be available in all 50 states, but they're good people, good patriots. They support us and the show. They support Turning Point. You want to check them out. Mark Halperin in 2 seconds. All right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. We are joined by Mark Halperin, host of Next Up on the Megyn Kelly Network, editor-in-chief of Two Way. Great program. Mark, so, you know, we talked about this left-wing populism. Charlie predicted its rise and ascendancy. And obviously MAGA was the beginning of this populist wave in the United States. But, you know, there's growing consternation on the right that perhaps we're losing touch. Maybe the administration is losing touch with the base. Trump has this interview with Laura Ingraham last night. We'll just give you a taste of it. I can't tell you how many people are texting me clips going like, did he really just say that? Play cut 122.
When somebody makes a statement about he's devoting time to the world, well, the world is the United States, because if the world's in trouble or if the world is ripping us off, it's easy to say, oh, don't worry about the world. But the world is turning out to be our biggest customer. The world was on fire, and we could have been in that fire very easily if you didn't have a president that knew what he was doing.
So obviously, Blake, Mark, the word there, or the phrase there, the world is the United States, I think, you know, keyed off the America First psyche. To be diplomatic, though, and actually, I think what he was trying to say was that if the world's out of control, we're gonna have a real hard time finding peace and prosperity here at home. You have to put out the fires when they come up. I know what he was saying. I think people are making too much of it, but there is this note that we're focusing too much on foreign policy, not enough on domestic policy. Is that what you're seeing in the polling, the trends, the conversation that you're hearing in your circles, Mark?
The populists of both parties, whether it's MAGA or Bernie Sanders supporters, they're like, "Come home, America." It sounds like Mitt Romney saying corporations are people too. And look, being commander in chief, you've got responsibilities, and the president's view of how to make America successful, as you said, is to be more engaged economically with the world in a way that's advantageous to the United States, and not turn the back on countries who we can help themselves and have more allies. So I think the proof will be for so many of the answers to so many of these questions for both the establishment of the party and MAGA is, what will the economy be like at the end of the next year?
This is the key. We have a clip here that I
think
play.
Some people have sometimes the framing is they're not focused on the domestic sphere enough, but it also is possible maybe the domestic sphere is just not super popular right now. And let's set that up. Trump spoke with Laura Ingraham.
Yep.
Let's play 176.
We're down on energy. We're down on interest rate. You know, interest rates are down despite the Fed. Now, if we had a normal person at the Fed, would have really low interest rates, and we will soon have that. We'll have somebody that's...
Then why are people saying they're anxious about the economy? Why are they saying that?
I don't know that they are saying. I think polls are fake. We have the greatest economy we've ever had. We will have over $20 trillion come into our economy, and it's largely because of my election, but it's also largely because of tariffs.
All right, so Mark, you are inside the Oval Office. You have the president's ear for 30 minutes, and you're giving him messaging advice. Given this dynamic on the domestic front, what is your advice to President Trump on how to message this?
Well, I'm not in the business of giving messaging advice to any politicians, but just looking at the polling and talking to a lot of voters, it really doesn't matter how you message it. Is the economy going to be better next year or not? There's a lot of strong signs, not just the stock market. There are other strong signs, but people are still really uneasy about the economy. And it's pretty simple, not just for a president who put affordability and the economy front and center, but for any president. Will people before the midterms, will people at the end of his presidency say, yeah, that guy had a theory of the case about how to make our lives better, particularly on the economy? I don't think it matters how he messages it. I mean, obviously there's ways to do it that are worse than others, but that's not, people aren't looking for messaging. They're looking for their lives to get better and more affordable.
So, Mark, you're basically saying 2026 comes down to maybe some of these redistricting battles, but it's the economy, stupid. And the second follow-up question,
more than anything else,
follow-up question is the Hispanic vote. One of the things I'm looking at is we're engineering these maps in Texas based on Hispanic vote modeled off of 2024. I'm concerned, especially with the economy, that that's going to have a big outsized impact with the Hispanic community.
The data in polling and on election day last week makes it clear that President Trump did not create a realignment, moving the Hispanic vote, or particularly young Hispanic men, from the Democratic column to the Republican column. What happened was, because of Biden-Harris and somewhat because of the president's appeal, they shifted away from the Democrats and they parked temporarily on Trump. Will they realign towards Republicans, like in that Texas district or around the country? Are they up for grabs? We don't know, because it may have simply been the combination of Trump on the ballot and Biden-Harris policies that moved them. And here's an irony:
10 seconds.
the more the president remakes our culture and makes it less politically correct, the harder it is for Republicans to win Hispanic votes, because they no longer have that to play off of and rebel against.
Mark Halperin, see you soon. Thank you, my friend. We'll be right back.